prepared for Jeddah. Yes, very. All controls.
So we're welcome back to the League of Sandbaggers. We are at Jeddah, and as I've been corrected before by someone, it's Jeddah, not Jeddah.
It's like Jeddah.
More like Chadda.
You're saying it wrong, bro.
If I am still wrong, you all can please tell me later or in the comment section.
What the hell just happened?
So on board with Chugs right now, who's just starting his lap. And we're back. And Sid Venkatesh and Indian Gamer on the outlap along with Easy Level Bot also, who's just about to start his lap on the mediums, on board with him, going down the straight, full blast, DRS open. How does he pick his braking point here? And a little wider than he expected, but he's on the medium, so that's a given. Little twitchy on out of the corner there and into the tricky first section of the, and he loses his car, and oh, he's into the wall. Easy Level Bot is into the wall. Meanwhile, Sid Venkatesh starting his lap now. Let's go on board with him. DRS open down the straight and picks his braking point absolutely right, and quite calm on the throttle there. He goes into the first section of the S's and takes it a little slow. Quite stable in 6th gear over there, and he's invalidated his lap. Sid replicating the Alpine performance from this evening at the Spanish Grand Prix, it looks like. And Mayank is on his outlap, and still nobody has beaten Mayank's time. It's very surprising that his lap time is not tumbling down. I expect the lap time is within the 128s over here, but nobody is seeming to get there right now. And I hope it's not like last night's race where we had a full wet race starting in on this track, and trust me, that's not a nice thing to do. Indie Gamer meanwhile on his lap with the purple sector 2, at least what the game shows me. And he's about to finish his lap, and let's see where this puts him, and he goes P2. Still not beating Mayank. Wow. And what's happened to Indic over here? Meanwhile, Sid Venkatesh is on his lap now. Getting very close to the wall over there. Will he get held up by chips? No, he doesn't. A purple middle sector is what it showed me for Sid Venkatesh. Let's see how fast he can go. Can he beat Mayank's time? And he's lost fuel over there. That's hard luck. I think Alonso's luck is actually coming over to him now. Chip starting his lap into turn 1, gets the apex right, the second apex also right. Good exit out of the corner, little twitchy, but that's alright. Oh, extra downshift through that phase. Oh, and he's extended tracks. Oh, this is not going to be funny if he finishes this lap, because he had a track extension there. Will anyone report chips? I don't know. Anyway, Chugs finally goes faster than Mayank. And Chips wins it after all, so I don't think it's going to count for him either way. Oh, he saved the car, so maybe it will. For whoever wants to report him, this is going to be available on the mainstream, so you can go ahead and get that. Meanwhile, Mayank goes even faster with the 28.9. The Williams driver really turning on the heat over here. With the Williams 1-2 right now, with Mayank P1, Chugs P2, followed by a Mercedes in Indy P3, Hazza in P4. So it's a Mercedes engined 1, 2, 3, 4. Will any of the other drivers come close, which is Ace in the Ferrari, Sid in the Alpine, Quick Killer in the Haas, Easy Level again in the Mercedes powered McLaren, Chips in the Mercedes, Abhi in the Alfa Romeo, and Pradeep again. So going on board with Ace, who's just about starting the second sector now. Little deep there, avoids the Verstappen wall. And Ace goes C7. Meanwhile, Easy Level is out on track for his fast lap on softs right now. Mayank goes even faster with the 128.6, but did he want to take that life out of the tire? Let's see. Because he didn't look like he was being challenged by anyone else. Will we see Sid Venkatesh finally probably putting in a decent lap and getting on the board to challenge the front runners? Big lift off from him there, and he somehow manages to keep it within control. But I don't think that would be a really good first sector. Oh, when he very, very gently kisses the wall. Oh, and he's invalidated his lap. What a shame again. Meanwhile, the fastest front runner right now on the mediums is Smith Shaw with a 129.2. Then followed by Hazza, who's in P6 at 130.2. Meanwhile, Mayank still out. He is obviously got a box. Can anyone challenge him now? Will it be his teammate? He doesn't seem to have. He's really pushing it on this out lap. Meanwhile, there's a yellow flag in Sector 1 for a slow moving Ferrari. On board with Sid Venkatesh yet again. Let's see if he can complete it this time. Keeps it very, very away from the wall. Dealt with the first half of the second sector well there. And seems to be on a very good lap right now. It might put him in the top 3 or top 4 right now. Hopefully he can cultivate this time. quite close to the inner wall there, and dash to the finish line, and he goes P6. Oh, a 29.3. Meanwhile, Mayank, Chugs, Easy Level, Smith Shah, all on the outlaps on fresh softs by the looks of it. Let's see who can get pole and who can maybe steal it away from Mayank. Meanwhile, Chugs stays P2, doesn't improve. He's most likely going on another push lap right now. Smith Shah on his push lap. Let's see on board with him what he can do now. Meanwhile, he sets a purple sector 1. He's 3/10 up on his time, which should put him in P2 right now, and he comes very close to the wall. Really pushing the Aston Martin to the limit over here. Let's see what he can conjure up in this lap. Meanwhile, it doesn't look like Chips is going for another lap now. Let's see if Smith Shah's final dash to the line, and he goes P1 with a 128.4. Good lap from him. Mayank, meanwhile, is down on his time in the first sector. Let's see if he has any time to make up. He needs about 2/10 to get pole back from him. Meanwhile, Chugs won't improve as well. It's all down to Mayank, and if Easy Level Bot can also improve. Easy Level Bot is improving, but it doesn't look like that's enough for pole right now. And what does Easy Level go? He goes P4. Meanwhile, Mayank rounding up the last corner right now. Final dash to the line. Can he snatch pole back from Smith Shah? And Mayank goes P1. What a lap from Mayank. Pole position for the Williams driver. So it's Mayank who puts in a 128.3 for pole position, followed by Smith Shah, Quick Killer. Easy Level Bot has a Chugs, Chip Steamer, Sid Venkatesh, Indic Gamer, Ace, Abhi, Pradeep, Fleke, and Abdul Samad. The 14 drivers lining up for the grid now. So if someone can let me know how the weather is going to be, that would be great. Just like we had in IRL, we might have our first live interview during the race here in LOS also if a like-minded person retires. Let's see who's going to retire first from Mayank, Smith, Quick Killer, Easy Level, Hazard, Chugs, Chip Shima, Sid, Indic Gamer, Ace, Abhi, URL, Pradeep, Flake, all Abdul Samad. Well, Everyone asks who's going to finish in the podium and predict your podium sitters. I'm going to ask you all, predict who's going to DNF first. Jeddah is a track where usually the guys who don't DNF first. We have Mayank taking it extremely calmly on the formation lap, followed by Smith Shah and Quick Killer. Tire strategies are going to be very important here because the amount of safety cars which can come during the race, sometimes you're just, in an abundance of strategy calls and you don't know what to do and you go out on the wrong tire. But as soon as you start making things right, the safety car comes out again. So it's always going to be tricky when it comes to tire choice on this track. The tire wear on this track is definitely not that high compared to some of the other tracks, some of the other street tracks rather, like Baku and all that. But the fact that, it's easier to, you're probably going to end up changing more wings than you change tires on this track. Meanwhile, all the drivers lining up on the grid as I find myself a decent camera angle which Cody's never wants to give you on the start. Last car in its slot right about now. And we have 4, 5 lights out and away we go, and a slow start for Smith. A decent start for Mayank, who gets away, and Smith down his inside and a little bit of contact, and there's someone spun around over there in the back. Who is that? Looks like one of the Haas which had spun around off Quick Killer, I guess, because he went from P3 to P10. Easy level on the back of Smith Shah. Quick Killer fighting with his teammate right now. Meanwhile, Mayank has pulled out a 8.5, 9/10 gap from Smith Shah, who's being chased down by Easy Level Bot quite a bit, who's also being chased down by his teammate. Meanwhile, Mayank is cruising up ahead. Already down on his ERS. I wonder what Mayank is thinking here, but he probably wants to just pull away. Meanwhile, Chuck's going on a move on the McLaren on the outside. Can he make this stick? And Hazard gets him back. Meanwhile, Chips has pulled a bit of a gap to Sid right now, who will have to close it down. Chips and Chuck have a little bit of contact there, which probably lit up Sid Venkatesh's eyes, because he's now within a second again, chasing Chugs down. Not the best of starts for Chugs right now. Meanwhile, Smith is so slowly but steadily getting in closer and closer to Mayank and dropping Easy Level just the tad bit. Meanwhile, Chugs trying on Chips right now, letting Sid also get closer to them. Sid has left Indie Gamer quite behind, so he's not afraid of any challenges from the back right now. And Sid has put it into the wall.
Thank you.
What should Sid do now? Since he's dropped down, but I don't think he should pit because it really doesn't make sense unless he has damage. And it does look like he has damage, so he should probably be going on to the mediums because the hards won't make any sense over here right now. And go on to the mediums because there should be a safety car later on in the race. So let's hope for the best for him. Meanwhile, going back up, Quick Killer gets past Indie Gamer, who are fighting it down the straight right now. Both of them dumping ERS like it's available like it's unlimited. And Quick Killer keeping it around the outside, squeezing Indic a bit. Meanwhile, URL Pradeep Meanwhile, Smith is 6/10 behind Mayank, who he's slowly catching up to him. Now the DRS will be powerful for him in Sector 3. So let's see what happens there. He's right up the back. He's just 4/10 behind Mayank now, 3/10 rather. He's probably Smith is 2/10 behind him. Is Mayank backing off? Does Mayank have damage? Because he lost a lot of time to Smith there, and Smith with DRS should have an easy pass on the inside. Mayank would want to ideally make a comeback on him on the straight again. On board with Smith. Mayank's DRS wide open. Will he make a comeback? And yes, Mayank breezes past Smith. Easy level bot and chips also switching position. Oh, and easy level gets a big tank slapper, and Mayank is out of the race. He's crashed out. And his track would be in the middle of the road, and Abdul Samad just slowing down. Meanwhile, Pradeep just going about. This is given Sid Venkatesh a good opportunity, but I don't think he should pit. What a time for Smith to make that overtake, because he's now leading the race and of course dictating the strategy. Does Smith go into the pits? Smith stays out, easy level bot stays out. Wow, that's a brave call. And maybe Sid Venkatesh should have stayed out. He would have been jumping a lot of positions right now, but he knows that Smith Shah and Easy Level also have to pit again, so that would have helped him climb up the ranks. Meanwhile, let's see the leader on fresh mediums is Chips right now in P5, followed by Chugs, Quickler, Haza, Indie Gamer, Abdul Samad, Abhi, Sid Venkatesh, and Ace.
But now this one again give it.
And we should have the safety car in at the end of this lap. So the medium runners, the guys who are running on fresh mediums should be able to stretch the mediums out right till the end. It is definitely going to be a stretch, but given so that the top four will have to pit again, I think that should be a easy task and not that difficult. Oh, the safety car in sign has come very last minute for Smith Shaw. And he's going to have to back them up right at the end now. Meanwhile, let's go on board with easy level bot, and Smith is taking it right to the line, and he's gone right now. It's a mixed start right now. Meanwhile, Smith has got ahead of easy level by 7/10. Chips up to P3, Pradeep P4. Meanwhile, Sid Venkatesh and Abdul Samad are fighting it out. Oh, and there seems to be a collision between Ace and Abhi at the back because they've just dropped back. Meanwhile, Sid will be looking to get past all these guys into some positions very fast. Chips really making those fresh mediums count. He's on the hunt right now, up to P3, chasing easy level bot down. Meanwhile, Sid right on the gearbox of the Mercedes of Indie Gamer. Will he be able to make the move soon? Let's wait and find out. Going on board with Sid. And he makes the move quite comfortably. Did squeeze Indik a bit, but there was no contact. Meanwhile, up ahead, Chip Seema, the gap is seeming to be maintained 1.2 seconds between Easy Level and Smith. And Chips is slowly but steadily getting back at Easy Level, whose soft tires are going to be second hand now. So probably not the best decision to have stayed out. Or are they banking on one more safety car? Quick killer right at the back of URL Pradeep, with Hazza right behind him as well. So it's a train of cars starting from URL Pradeep, Quick Killer, Hazza, Chugs, and Sid Venkatesh should be just about seeing them all in front of him now. So he'd want to get into that mix as soon as possible as well, and hope for some mistakes so he can make up some positions. And Pradeep gets a double overtake. Meanwhile, Hazza and Quick Killer still going at it. Oh, Hazza backs off. Quick Killer goes off the track in Max Verstappen style. All this while, Sid Venkatesh is actually losing out time to them. He would really need to pull his socks up and get faster now. Meanwhile, Chips also has been left by Easy Level bot, so it seems like the softs do have some life in them. So everyone from Chips in P3 right down till Ace in P10 would be wanting to finish on the same tire, so they really need to gamble whether they should be pushing right now or stay within the temperatures so that they don't overcook the tires. Meanwhile, Sid Venkatesh is in the DRS zone of URL Preet now. Hopefully he can make those moves. Meanwhile, Chugs is right at the back of Hazza as well. Who's at the back of Quick Killer himself? Meanwhile, Quick Killer got a good exit out of the last corner to keep Hazza behind, but Chugs is also coming to him. Meanwhile, Sid Venkatesh, will he send one down? No, he chooses the better one. He keeps going and he will be putting pressure on URL Pradeep, who's made a mistake and almost cuts back onto him. That was close for Sid Venkatesh. Meanwhile, a 3-second penalty for Easy Level bot for exceeding track limits. Well, that won't do him any good. Chugs and Hazza is probably going to come into a battle right now, which should be good for Sid, as he will be able to close them down and get away from Pradeep as well. So all the way from Quick Killer to URL Pradeep, they're all within the time to capitalize if the driver in front makes a mistake. Easy level bot Pits. Goes on to the mediums now. Chugs on the outside of Hazard, makes the move comfortably.